Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
Combs is dangerous and poses an ongoing threat to the safety of the community.
When Combs didn't get his way, he was violent.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. We knew this was coming. His spirits are good. He's confident. He's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges.
Damn, Diddy. Back at it again with the free shit. On Monday, September 16th, 2024, the feds made their move, taking Sean Diddy Combs into federal custody inside the lobby of a Manhattan hotel. His arrest would come 10 months after multiple allegations of freak nasty abuse. Cassie would be the first to file a lawsuit accusing Diddy of savage beatings, rape, drugs, the list goes on. Well, the very next day after the lawsuit went viral, Diddy, Diddy's lawyer, and Cassie settled the lawsuit with the terms to be kept confidential. The speed of how fast the lawsuit ended pretty much answered everyone's question as to did he do it. In the following months, both women and a man would come forward with more deviant allegations. Homeland Security would strike, conducting early morning raids on Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami mansions. Following the raids, a video of Cassie being assaulted by Diddy would take the internet by storm, as the lawsuit alleged Diddy paid $50,000 at the time to make the video disappear. Howard University would revoke Diddy's honorary degree and terminate the scholarship program in his name. And the mayor of New York City would also request the key to the city be returned. It would appear Diddy knew what was coming as he traveled back to New York City, checking into a hotel on September 5th in anticipation of the indictment. Just 30 minutes before the feds took him into custody, Diddy could be seen laughing and mingling with fans in Central Park. At one point, he'd even meet with his lawyer on a park bench. It would appear Diddy was taking it all in. Pause. As he knew this may be the last time he sees the city he ran for the last 30 years. The unsealed indictment would reveal Diddy has been hit with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The feds would allege that for decades, Diddy abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so,
it's an experience that shapes a person.
Many of you know I started my career as a prosecutor.
Diddy relied on his employees, resources, and influence of the business empire he controlled, creating a criminal enterprise that engaged in or attempted to engage in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. In other words, Diddy used his power to get his freak on. Diddy engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of this abuse, Diddy manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated, freaky activity with male sex workers. At times, Diddy or those working for him would fly out women and sex workers to his location. He'd make sure they were willing to participate by supplying them drugs, controlling their careers, using financial support, and threatening to cut them off financially while using intimidation and lastly, violence. Physical abuse by Diddy was recurrent and widely known. Since 2009, he'd assault women by striking, punching, dragging, kicking, and throwing things. These assaults were at times witnessed by other people, including in 2016 when he kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at Cassie before trying to bribe the hotel workers to remain silent. Diddy would even use his employees to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and freak nasty behavior. Members of the Diddy enterprise were well involved in his dirty work and worked together to preserve, protect, promote, and enhance the power, reputation, and brand that is Sean Diddy Combs. See, Diddy's disciples wielded enough power and prestige to lure women into Diddy's orbit, often under the false pretense of a romantic relationship. These women were then forced or coerced into engaging in acts with male sex workers in what Diddy referred to as freak-offs. These freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances that Diddy arranged and directed while electronically recording and pleasuring himself. Domestic and international flights would be provided, and these freak-offs would occur regularly, sometimes lasting multiple days and involving multiple people. Diddy distributed a variety of drugs to keep his victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, Diddy kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in such acts with sex workers, and when the freak-offs were done, Diddy would provide IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. Diddy's disciples would often book hotel rooms, stocking them in advance with the required freak-off supply list. The list would include drugs, baby oil, lubricant, extra sheets, and lighting. During the raids of Diddy's mansions, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including drugs, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and lube. They'd also seize firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, one of which had a drum magazine. The feds are using 16 years worth of dirt to essentially bury Diddy inside of a federal prison, and in a desperate attempt, Diddy's defense team proposed to put him on home detention with a $50 million bond secured by his Miami mansion. But the feds would give 15 pages of reasons why the judge shouldn't allow it. The letter would highlight much of what the indictment states, including one freak off in 2012, which Diddy had to pay $46,000 to cover the damages done to a New York penthouse. In 2011, Diddy and a conspirator kidnapped an individual at gunpoint to facilitate breaking into and entering the residence of someone else. 2 weeks later, Diddy's disciples set fire to that person's car by slicing open the convertible top and dropping a Molotov cocktail inside the interior. Since 2008, allegations of Diddy's violence against women has been reported in the public media, but more recently, there has been an outpouring of allegations dating back to the 90s. The weapons recovered inside of Diddy's home are also a federal concern. While 6 legal weapons were found stored in safes, 3 AR-15s were found with defaced serial numbers, making them very illegal. A drum magazine loaded with 59 rounds of .223 ammo was found in his Los Angeles mansion, where high-capacity magazines are very illegal. To make a long story short, the feds said Diddy's dangerous, has a shitload of money, and is definitely a flight risk, so the judge denied his bail. As of now, Diddy resides in a not-so-luxury concrete cell within MDC Brooklyn, a federal facility that holds over 1,700 inmates of all calibers and has been home to many big names, from rappers like 6ix9ine to mob boss John Gotti. It can be expected that a ton of new information will keep coming out regarding this case, possibly more charges, and even more arrests. It's also likely that Diddy may have some information he's willing to share in order to secure his freedom. So while the industry has turned their backs on him, many may be sweating, knowing what they did in Diddy's darkness is about to come to light. And as for Diddy, he's facing a minimum 15 years and up to life in federal prison. Now, I think it's safe to say we all expected this would happen, we just didn't know when. The fact that he only has 3 counts is somewhat surprising. I thought it would have been more, because all the allegations against him are so crazy and in depth. But racketeering is pretty much bundling up everything into one charge. At the end of the day, he has 3 charges. He's facing 15 years minimum up to life. And the way the feds work is you're either gonna tell on somebody or you're gonna get fucked. Now, the type of case he has, anything sexual, when you get locked up, it's frowned upon to the point that you can be a target. But that's more so for people that aren't so rich and aren't so famous. I'm not sure how it would play out for him because he has money to sway the crowd. But this is the thing. They may also come for the money. They may come for his properties. They may come for everything. And if they're able to take away his means of defense and making things happen, they're taking away his power. We're just gonna reduce him from a music mogul to
I've been talking without a mic this entire time. This entire video, I haven't had my mic on. I'm actually the biggest dumbass in the world. How am I actually this stupid? Whatever, I've just been making fucking stupid jokes anyways, so. God damn it. Okay, whatever. Oh, and I just restarted the video.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment.
I ain't about to watch it again,
Diddy
though.
had to pay $46,000, a shitload of money, his freedom. So while the industry has turned their backs on him, many may be sweating, knowing what they did in Diddy's darkness is about to come to light. And as for Diddy, he's facing...
I guess the one part I do need to re-say is, welcome to the Hour Long Deluxe. I'm your host, Captain Quasar. And today we're going to be reacting to some videos, as well as talking about a joke that I feel is a little misunderstood. I'm just a dumbass and didn't have the mic on this whole time. It happens. It happens.
A minimum 15 years and up to life in federal prison. Now, I think it's safe to say we all expected this would happen. We just didn't know when. The fact that he only has 3 counts is somewhat surprising. I thought it would have been more because all the allegations against him are so crazy and in depth. But racketeering is pretty much bundling up everything into one charge. At the end of the day, he has 3 charges. He's facing 15 years minimum. The way the feds work is you're either going to tell on somebody or you're going to get fucked. Now, the type of case he has, anything sexual, when you get locked up, it's frowned upon to the point that you can be a target. But that's more so for people that aren't so rich. He
I already saw this part.
A lot more people, possibly more arrests, a lot of people falling back, and you know, Diddy has a lot of information on people. This shit's kind of similar to the Epstein shit when he was bringing people to the island, except
Diddy Island?
Diddy was doing this shit over here. You're flying people through, you're recording them, you're giving them drugs, whatever. Now Diddy, his life is on the line, and we're gonna see how desperate he gets. We're gonna see how desperate other people get. We don't know how deep this is gonna go, and this is only the beginning. Guarantee it won't be the last video I make on it, as the updates are just gonna come rolling in. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. It's 10.
Did he do it? Did he not? We may never know. So this video actually came out 2 months ago by New Mexico Body Cam, I think. It's just NM Body Cam. But it's Albuquerque officer arrested for DWI. Let me retry this. This video came out a little while ago, 2 months ago, by NM Body Cam. Albuquerque officer arrested for DWI while on his way to work at 112 miles per hour? Man, what'd you have to take a shit or something?
On Sunday, June 9th, 2024, at around 11:50 p.m., New Mexico State Police Sergeant Toby LaFave was out on patrol on I-25 when he observed a vehicle going the opposite direction at a significantly faster rate than normal. Sergeant LaFave turned on his front radar, which indicated the vehicle was traveling at 112 miles per hour. After catching up, Sergeant LaFave noticed the vehicle was a fully marked Albuquerque Police Department patrol unit and that the driver was failing to maintain his lane.
Ooh, that's bad. Pull him over. Pull him over. Be considerate to the other drivers on the road, not just to your other officers. Don't be a piece of shit.
Driving off the road. 05121 George. white. Ford.
Pit maneuver him. You've got the perfect opportunity. Imagine how funny it's gotta be. You're drunk driving as a police officer. And then behind you, a cop pulls you over. You gotta think, like for a split second, you have to go, oh no, I'm caught. But then you go, wait, I'm a cop. And then the ignorance is what you think is gonna save you. The arrogance is what you're hoping is, I guess the arrogance is what you're hoping is going to save you. But all it's going to give you is, some more trouble, to be honest. Bro turned his lights on too. He said, what's going on, man? Where are we going? He looks like he's about to fucking hit something.
I caught up to him at Bobby Answer. Correction, Bobby Foster.
According to Sergeant Lefebvre, as he was pulling the driver over, he initially thought it might be a stolen patrol car after seeing the driver's behavior. However, as Sergeant Lefebvre walked up to the window, he noticed the driver was an Albuquerque officer in full uniform who stated he was heading to work.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. What's the hurry?
I'm just in my way to work. I have like 11 minutes left.
Yeah, you have 9 minutes left?
Yeah,
Okay.
I go in at 12.
Okay, and also, you're not staying in your lane.
I'm sorry, boss. I have a low tire. That's all it is.
Come back here and talk to me real quick.
While talking to the officer,
Bro just got off having a couple drinks, has to be in at midnight. And man, should have been sleeping. He's got some crazy bags under
Sergeant
his ass.
Lefebvre picked up a moderate odor of alcohol coming from within the vehicle.
Come back here. Over here. Yeah, so you're doing so stand right here. So did you
Man, and I'll say it once, and I'll say it once. I've said it once. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. One crime at a time. If you're drunk driving, why are you speeding? And if you're gonna have to speed, why are you drunk? Just call in and be like, "I'm sorry, man. I have to be in at midnight. I fell asleep." What do you do about it?
So did you see me on the freeway?
I didn't see you. I'm sorry.
Okay. You didn't see me at all?
No, sir.
You didn't see me at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay, were you doing a buck 12 and I turned around? I actually saw you in the median. I turned around and I've been chasing you probably since the 2:12-ish.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So, did you do a favor? You have your weapon on you, right?
What's that?
You have your weapon on you?
Yes, sir.
Let's put it in your car real quick.
Okay.
And your taser.
You put your weapon in your car.
The officer was identified as Jordan Hernandez, who has been with the APD for approximately 3 years.
Come back here.
Yes, sir.
Over here. When does shift start?
12, sir.
12? Okay, start here. So, Mr. Hernandez, where are you coming from?
Las Lunas.
Where do you live at in Las Lunas?
What's that?
Where do you live at?
Hunting Ranch.
Hunting Ranch?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Hernandez, like everybody, I tried to put your gun away. Okay,
Yes,
I'll be flat out honest with you. Okay, one, you're speeding.
Yes, sir.
With no lights on.
Yes, sir.
Two, I don't know why you keep going off the road. That's why I stopped you.
Honestly, can I show you why?
Well, you can tell me why.
It's because I don't have my other light or my other key. And so my other key, like, it fucks me up because I don't have my other key in the ignition. And
This is quite possibly the worst lie I've ever heard. Like,
so it's pulling on my belt. That's why.
at first you said it was your tire pressure. You have to stick to one story, my friend.
Like, I can show you, sir.
So that's why you can't stay in one lane?
No.
Okay, no. I asked you, why can't you stay in one lane?
Because I'm trying to log on to all my stuff and everything like that.
Making up all these excuses, every single one. You're trying to log in when you're this. I mean, he said he's been following you for a while. Can't get fully logged in, bro? What are you going? While going 112? You shouldn't be fucking doing that at all while you're driving. Let alone while you're going 112 miles per hour.
Okay. So when did you start logging into it?
Honestly, I can show you. Like, I've been trying to log on and doing all my other stuff. That's the only reason.
Mr. Hernandez, when did you last drink alcohol?
Yesterday.
Okay, I'm gonna check your eyes real quick. Okay. Put your toes together.
Yep.
I'm talking about flashing lights. What time yesterday?
Probably 12.
Based on
Bro's drinking at noon yesterday.
Sergeant Lefebvre's observations, he had Jordan perform field sobriety tests.
Midnight or
Noon.
12 noon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, noon yesterday?
Yes, sir.
So like 12 hours ago?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No. Like noon the day before.
Noon yesterday, so like 2 hours ago. Or did he say a few hours ago? It sounded like he said 2 hours ago, bro. It's the middle of the fucking night. What do you mean?
Noon yesterday?
Yes, sir.
So like 12 hours ago?
Yes, sir.
Maybe he said 12 and he's just fucking slurring his words.
Okay. No. Like noon the day prior.
Okay. I'm gonna check your eyes. So nothing drink recently?
No, sir.
Okay, any major head injury?
Just a headache recently, but no.
He didn't ask how's your head feeling. He said any major head injuries. You got any psychiatric issues? Any reasons that you might not want to be a police officer?
Nothing crazy.
Okay. When did you graduate the academy?
About 3 years ago, sir.
Okay. Was I one of your instructors?
What's that?
Was I one of your instructors?
No, sir.
Okay. See my fingertip?
Yes, sir.
Follow my fingertip with your eyes only. And don't move your head.
Yes.
So, Mr. Hernandez, can you explain why I would smell alcohol from your breath?
I don't know why, sir.
Okay, here we go. Don't move your head.
Should have used, I used mouthwash. That has alcohol in it. Sometimes I drink it. It's faster that way.
Mr. Hernandez, do you have a license?
On me, yeah.
Can I see it?
Just every answer he's giving is like what a stupid person would say. Do you have a license? On me, yeah. Just hand it to him.
Who's your sergeant?
Sergeant Folk. Jared Folk.
Okay, wait right there. This is very awkward for me, Mr. Hernandez.
He just drives off on him.
517, what's up?
517.
I'll be 10-6 here for a minute. You can reset my timer, please.
10.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Hernandez. Stand right there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, same drill. Put your heel and toes together.
Yes, sir.
Is that your sides?
Yes, sir.
Follow my fingertip. Don't move your head.
Moving your head, bro. Moving your head. Gotcha. You gotta just... Shit hurts. I can see that making you real dizzy real quick. You're moving your head, dog.
Okay. Don't look at my knuckle. Look at my fingertip, okay?
He's like,
Ready? Follow my fingertip.
So I smell alcohol on his breath, and he was swerving into other lanes while going 112 miles per hour. But he was able to follow my fingertip with his eyes, while only minutely moving his head. Hey baby, what's up? Thanks for coming into the chat. Yep, you're the only one in here right now. At least the only person that's visible on my end. My one video has almost 1,000 views.
Okay, same thing. I'm going to go up and down. Long fingertip. Mr. Hernandez, 2 more quick tests. We'll possibly get you on your way. Any problems walking, balancing, or turning?
I mean, just boost, but nothing crazy.
Those are what you use every single day?
Yeah, relatively. I changed the insoles on them, but...
Okay, come over with me. Stand right here.
Nice.
Yep, on my light.
Yes, sir.
Face your,
Hope you're having a
please
good
sit up,
lunch.
Put your toes together. Right now, the only thing I want you to do is just listen to me, okay? Okay. Can you imagine a straight line from your left foot to my right foot? Can you imagine a straight line?
Oh, I'm sorry, which way?
Just imagine a straight line from your left foot to my right foot. Nope, don't do anything. Just imagine a straight line.
Okay.
Don't move your foot.
Okay.
Don't move your foot. Put your feet together, man.
Thanks.
Okay, imagine, okay, don't do anything. Just imagine a straight line from your left foot to my right foot. Can you do that? Okay, the line width of your foot or shoe is about 4 to 5 inches wide. Mr. Hernandez, do me a favor. On that imaginary line, place your left foot just like this. Okay. Go ahead and do it for me now. Mr. Hernandez.
I'm sorry.
That was your right foot. I said place your...
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hernandez, place your right foot directly in front of your left, touching the other toe, like directly in front. Hands at your sides.
Can I take off my max?
You,
I can't see it over my bag.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Can I put them on your hood?
You can put them in your car.
Okay. Sorry, I can't see over my hood or my max.
Should get them refitted then. Seeing over that would seem kind of important.
Right there. Okay, heel toes together. Right foot in front of left. Okay. You and I are in the same position. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when I tell you to begin, and only when I tell you to begin, you will take a series of 9 heel toe steps down that line. Look, just like this. Watch me. Don't start yet. Just like this. 1, 2, 3. I took 3. You will take 9. Once you take 9 steps, you'll make a turn. Keep your front foot planted with your back foot. Turn around like this. Take a series of small steps. Turn all the way around. And now you're facing my patrol unit. Mr. Hernandez, do you understand the turning process? After you turn, you'll take 9 more heel toe steps down that same line, just like this. 1, 2, 3, back down number 9.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez, throughout this test, keep your hand directly at your sides.
Yes, sir.
And out in your pockets.
Yes, sir.
Look down at your feet while you count. Okay. And count out loud so I can hear you. Also, once you start this test, don't stop until you've completed it. And don't forget to touch heel to toe.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, sir.
You feel understand what I want you to do?
Yes, sir.
Next up will be step number 1.
1, 2, 3.
He skipped number 1. He took an extra step there. He's doing pretty good.
3, 4,
Oh,
5,
slipped a little bit.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, turn and face me. Heels and toes together. Hands at your sides.
Can we do it on the other side of your unit? It's super windy.
What's that?
Can we do the other test on the side of your unit?
No, we're state police. Everything's done in our front.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's super windy.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
I did the test.
You know the rules.
Okay.
Okay. So,
No, I'm just saying that.
Okay.
The next one.
you gotcha. You can turn however you need to.
Okay.
Okay. So just watch me. Don't start yet. Just right now. I want you to listen to me. Okay. So when I tell you begin, what I want you to do is raise the leg of your choice.
Okay.
Either your left leg or your right leg, approximately 6 inches parallel with the ground.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what the word parallel means?
Yes, sir.
You know how tall 6 inches roughly is?
Yes, sir.
Silence, cool cat. Okay, watch me, don't start yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise my left leg, okay? My left leg's fully extended, my toes pointed, both feet are straight, my hands on my sides. Once your foot is raised, count like this. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Just keep on counting until you try to stop. So during this test, keep your hands directly at your sides. Look down the foot that's elevated and count out loud.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Do you feel understand?
Yeah, can I?
Sure, you can face whichever way you want. Whenever you're ready, I'll tell you when to stop.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004,
Counting a little fast there, buddy.
Okay, come over with me. Can you count backwards?
Yes, sir.
Count backwards from the number 58 to 43 backwards.
Yes, sir.
Don't sing them. Don't sing them.
How are you gonna sing numbers? 4, 58, 57, 56, 55. What the fuck is he talking about?
Don't sing them?
Yeah,
Don't.
just count backwards.
Okay.
Even he was confused. Like, what the fuck are you drunk, bro? What the fuck are you talking about?
58, 57, 56, or sorry, 40 or 58.
You already failed, bro. That was why he said that. He said that to confuse him, bro. That's genius. Don't sing him, because he's focused on that. Don't sing him. How am I going to sing numbers? But he should have remembered 58, 43. Boom. I ain't drunk.
58 to where?
43.
43, okay. 58,
He even gave it to him, man. I'd be surprised. I would have been like, put your hands behind your back.
57, 56, 55.
Bro, he can't count backwards. 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51, 50. Oh no, I sang them. 58, 57, 56, 55. You have to do like a robot. That'd probably be super easy.
54, 53, 52, 51,
50, 49, 48.
8, 47.
Dude, you are fucking this up for yourself. I'm surprised this is the part where he failed.
46, 44, 45,
See you when you get back.
44, 43.
You done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The alphabet.
Yes, sir.
Starting with the letter H as in Henry, stopping at the letter R as in Robert. Recite them forward. Don't sing them.
H star.
That time it made sense to say not to sing them, because you can actually sing the alphabet. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. Boom.
H star.
H I J K L M N O P Q R.
You sang them.
Okay.
You sang them.
Unfortunately, Mr. Hernandez, I believe that you're well over the legal limit.
Okay.
Okay. Go and take a view. So I will do the favor of that. Would you disagree with me?
I wouldn't agree with.
He's gonna fight him. Now they have to just fucking duke it out on the side of the road. I think that's the law.
You, sir?
No, I said, would you disagree with me?
I would disagree with you.
Okay.
Can I put it in my unit?
Sure.
Sergeant Lefebvre determined Jordan was unable to drive, which resulted in him placing Jordan under arrest for aggravated DWI, speeding, and failing to maintain his lane.
You're speeding.
Yes, sir.
Your driving behavior.
Okay.
I mean, yes. Yes. Did you do great in the fields? No. Do you know how to do the field sobriety test? Yes.
It's the only thing that they can do
Your
now.
speech. I've never heard you speak. The strong odor. Your eye movements. Okay.
Okay, but my eye movement and nothing else. Like,
Okay.
I'm not gonna argue.
Well, I know you're not.
I'm good. Here.
Who's your sergeant?
You want me to give him a call?
We'll call him in a minute.
You honestly, you don't need to do all that. Like, I can.
Well, you can have your gun belt. Yeah.
What do you want?
Or this thing?
Yeah.
Did that come off?
They played you.
I'm going to take it out. I mean,
Okay.
You gotta just go fight him now. It's the only way to deal with it. Sorry, bro, I don't make the rules. No, don't go fight them. That was a joke. Just make a lie about them now. Because why not?
Yeah. know this one? I'll grab it.
Which might unlock it?
Oh.
It's the.
Oh, there's no
long
key
one.
fob?
Long one, sir.
There's no key fob?
No, sir.
Did you have your phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here's my unit. Get your phone.
His life's ruined now.
Do I need?
Now he's gonna have to continue his job. Probably nothing's gonna happen to him, honestly.
Oh, do you have a t-shirt? Do you have a t-shirt?
Yeah.
Let's check out the APD. Okay. No. Okay, look back there. Front of these.
The shirt looks about 5 sizes too small.
Face
Maybe it was just pulled up. It was like hanging, like his belly was hanging out.
Mr. Hernandez? I thought that's what they said, Mr. Callas.
You literally said Hernandez earlier. I think this cop's drunk too. If I had to make my guess, I'd say they're both a little drunk.
Oh, that's my shirt. That's my partner. I wear his shirt.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. That's just weird.
It's just because his shirt fits better.
Okay. So, Mr. Hernandez,
You wear your partner's shirt. That's a little homoerotic, my friend. Nothing against it. To each their own. But don't be confused when people start questioning.
I'll tell you something very important. You are now under arrest for driving under the influence of intoxicating liquor and/or drugs. The Mexico Compliant Consent Act requires you to submit to a breath test to determine the alcohol content of your blood.
He's slurring his
Take our
words
test,
crazy.
You have the right to choose an additional independent test. If you choose to take this additional independent test, you have the right to reasonable opportunity to arrange for a physician, a licensed nurse, or laboratory technician or technologist who's available at the hospital, or a physician of your own choice to perform additional chemical test. The cost of this additional test will be paid for by a law enforcement agency, which is us, the New Mexico State Police. Mr. Hernandez, do you agree to take our test? Which I'm asking for a breath test.
No, sir.
Okay, sir, I cannot force you to take our test, but if you refuse, you will lose your next driver's license or non-resident operating privilege for 1 year. If you are convicted in court for driving while under the influence, you may also receive a greater sentence if you have refused to be tested.
It's all good, bro.
Furthermore, you
Take it
charge
easy.
DWI, which you know.
Thanks for stopping in.
That in mind, you
Make
want
sure to
to
drop a
submit
like
test?
before you leave.
Turn around.
I appreciate it.
This way. Open your mouth. Lift your tongue.
Have a good one.
Nothing in your mouth. It's now 12:06. Okay. And I'll take your phone from you, and then we'll call your sergeant. I gotta call my lieutenants anyway. What's that?
So let me go Taco Bell out of here.
You have a seat. Anything else on you other than your phone?
I might have my knife on.
I touched on you.
I might just be my wallet.
Yeah.
That's anything I keep in my pocket. The other stuff is in my gun. Other side's just my. That's where I keep my gun. Yeah, that's it.
But there's no gun there now, right?
What's that?
There's no gun there now.
No. Would you mind if I called my server or no?
I'll pop it on speakerphone.
Okay.
This isn't gonna end well. Yeah, bro, this fucking idiot thinks I'm driving drunk, but I'm not, bro. Did you do the breathalyzer test? Pfft, I ain't gonna do that, man. What?
Can we put this in the phone?
The cuffs?
Yeah.
No.
I get you.
I would just love if the cop right here went fucking jackass or just said something like that. Degraded him a little bit. Yeah, turn that off, bro.
517 second. Who's the on call?
Guy needs to speak up a little bit. He's a little uncomfortable. He's like, I got another officer in the car. Gotta be on my best behavior even though he's going to jail.
No, this is Sergeant Lefebvre with State Police. Hey, good. Can you meet me here at the I-25?
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Kind of by Bobby Foster. Yes or no? And then I'll need somebody to take the unit home or to your station. He's been arrested for DWI, but I'm giving you a courtesy because he was in full uniform. And all this stuff's in his unit, and I'm parked behind his unit now. All right, thank you, sir. Goodbye. He's on his way. There's a sergeant, I think. I'll go talk to him.
Yo, maybe blow on the mic. That'll help with the wind issue. Just try it out. You know, if it doesn't work, then it is what it is, but worth a shot.
So, yeah, he's back there. I was going southbound, roughly like around the 213 area. Actually, well, in between the 213 and as you start climbing the hill, he was southbound. Got him at 112. 112. So like, he's coming towards me.
This guy's a little... I like this little dude, this little cop. He seems like he'd be a nice guy. I don't know why I just called him the little cop. I could tell he's a lot shorter than the guy that's got his body camera on.
Got him at 112. I started turning in. I'm not sure who it was. Maybe
I wish I could hear some of this.
Jump here. From actually when he took the 215, it was all of the roadway. I actually went the distance. He was in lane number 1, going into the shoulder. Back on, caught up with him. He split some cars back there, passing them. Got back in lane number 1. Same thing. His left tires are clearly over the white line. I light him up. Driving wasn't considered. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's an officer probably going somewhere, possibly. I light him up. He flashed me back. I keep mine on, and then he did. He does pull over. As far as the drinking, he said he didn't drink until last week, like 12, like yesterday. Type of pull. He smells. He doesn't reek of it, but he definitely smells of it. Tests. I mean, they weren't horrible. I mean, I've seen better. I've seen worse. I had him take off all this stuff. Actually, I had him take off his gun and his taser immediately. Just like smelt it. And I thought, well, there's one less issue I have to worry about. His tool belt, his shirt, so he has nothing APD on. At least out of that, so that's all in the vehicle. There's his key. Yeah, and all this stuff is, the guns are up in the front seat, I believe. His tool belt and everything else is in the back.
And then there were enough HGN, walk and turn, and one-legged stand, definitely consistent with.
Yeah, I've been doing DUI for like just 16 years. Yeah. Again, he went to academy 3 years ago.
Yeah, fucking rookie. Yeah.
Knows how to do. I mean, should know how to do the fields. I mean, not one of like the old salty people. Yeah, and the eyes. I mean, I get it. I talked about the eyes before. I never heard him speak. He speaks differently. Slow. There was a little bit of a slur. Face to face in the vehicle. I mean, you probably go to the vehicle and you probably smell alcohol in the vehicle from him. Yeah. And now my car smells like it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you have a card by chance? If not, I could just write your name down. So.
I had. Yeah. Sorry.
Good.
I tried to call my lieutenants. Didn't answer.
Didn't answer. That's pretty good. That's a good way to kind of like end it off.
Yeah, my LT's probably asleep too right now. So, well, I have one of my officers here, so take all this stuff.
Don't tell me anything. Or?
Yeah, so.
I mean,
what's he gonna say?
He's been super polite. I mean, obviously no issues there. appreciate you coming out.
Aw, man, I wanted to see what
Yes,
the
sir.
fucking sheriff had to say to him.
Jordan was transported to the state police office for processing, where he
Jordan was transferred to the state police office for where he refused to give a breath sample.
refused to give a breath sample.
I'll tell him. Give me 1 second.
He was then placed in a jail where 3 men picked him up and used him as their plaything. It's a cold world.
If I had to sum up to
Okay, this is a very new video. It came out 7 hours ago by D'Angelo. It's called Why Be Funny When You Can Be Racist? And obviously, that is an ironic title, if you couldn't tell. But based on the thumbnail with Andrew Schultz, I think he's going to talk about something that's very poignant. The idea that people think that edgy humor comes from just being obnoxious and saying the craziest thing there is. I like a bit of edgy humor. I think I pushed the line a little bit. People don't find it funny a lot of the time. But I guess that's kind of the point. But at the end of the day, the humor should be coming from a place of thoughtfulness and consideration rather than just looking like for a cheap laugh from the people that are actual bigots.
If I had to sum up today's entire video in a single word, it would be pathetic. The person I'm talking about today, I find him pathetic, honestly.
Real pathetic.
And so strikingly unoriginal that his name is basically interchangeable to me. He doesn't exist as a unique concept or presence on the internet. I could make every single point in this video by talking about anybody who happens to be in this group of unfunny, offensive comedians, podcast hosts, the man with the microphone spewing middle grade playground takes about race, gender, orientation, etc. All concepts that he has absolutely no understanding of because he exists outside of discrimination for any of them. And so to explore my disdain for this type of person, of which there are far too many, we will be discussing none other than Andrew Schultz, whose name I may as well have picked out of a hat because there are so many Andrew Schultzes on the internet with 1 million followers. And surely if there's enough room on the internet for an infinite number of mid podcasts, then I reckon there should be just enough space left for me to point out how egregiously stupid all of this is and all of these people are.
At Vistaprint, we print signs so people can see your brand up close, but we also print signs so that people can see your...
But first, welcome. My name is D'Angelo, and I am your professor of gymnastic accounting, which is a very real degree that I definitely do have. Or maybe this is just me broadcasting myself talking in my room like YouTube used to be. And in today's lecture, we're going to be looking at what happens when talking in your room goes a little too far. And we're going to see what kind of person it takes to build an entire career from standing in front of a microphone saying what is essentially nothing at all. So I think the most important framing device for this video is to kind of get the elephant in the room out of the way early. Andrew Schultz is racist. I know I'm on the internet and people get their feelings hurt really easily by that word. I know I'm supposed to say like, oh yeah, he might have said an offensive joke.
Hey man, he's not racist. Let me tell you that as a white guy talking to a black guy, bro. He just says some edgy things like what's the problem? He just said that the Holocaust was kind of all right, but it was a joke. This guy, am I right? This guy pointed the wrong way. This guy, I had to look at the thing to see.
I don't know if that means he's actually he's racist. It's apparent from this podcast clip that started going viral recently, where you can see so many men with microphones, with these two being guests on the podcast, and this being our friend Andrew. So the conversation turns to black women, and the guests, James and Fuhad, start talking about the black girlfriend effect.
Wait, what is the black girlfriend effect? This
Oh,
is
you don't know about
Glow
this.
up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up. Glows up, bro.
So as they explain, this effect is a man glowing up when he gets a black girlfriend, leveling up his drip, magnifying the riz, etc. It's a silly joke, completely harmless, but notice how immediately Andrew has to swoop in and shoot down the idea that a black woman could ever improve somebody's life. Even as they're talking, he's uncomfortable.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about it all the time.
Now, I really want you to analyze the scene that's about to unfold. I almost wish I could get David Attenborough to analyze this, like just these people in their natural habitat. You can see in Andrew's face that he is calculating. He's waiting. He's just repeated the racist stereotype that black women are angry, right? Constantly complaining to the point of causing stress for their partners. And James and Fuhad have a choice. Actually, the same choice that every man is faced with constantly when he's in a room with only men. Am I gonna let this slide? And James and Fuhad have all too predictably decided that yes, they are going to let this slide. So then after sensing zero pushback, Andrew decides to take it a little bit further.
They grow a beard because there's more cushion when they get slapped the out of.
So now this joke has evolved into black women are angry and violent. And Andrew is literally giddy, bouncing up and down like a child who has been given gifts at Christmas. And the gift he's received is complicity.
It's because the black dude responded like this, so he was able to be like, fuck, it landed. It landed.
I actually feel like these two look fairly uncomfortable now, but nevertheless, they are still laughing.
I mean, that's an assumption.
And they say nothing, which allows Andrew to swoop in for the trifecta.
Here's the thing, is that joke terrible? Not really. Is it kind of racist? Yeah. It's not the worst joke you can make, but let's keep going.
I think the black girlfriend effect, it might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective.
And that is how an extremely lighthearted joke about guys changing up their style
The fuck does that even, what did he just say?
to impress black women got flipped within mere seconds into black women are angry, violent, and men need to be protected from them. And obviously, media literacy is at an all-time low because somehow this entire exchange gets interpreted by millions of people, no less, as comedy. But make no mistake, what you've just witnessed is not skill. This is habit. Being able to exist in an environment where you get zero pushback for so long and constantly pushing the envelope to see what you can get away with. None of this is dependent on any sort of comedic skill. It doesn't take any sort of timing, observation, or intelligence to do that. Even the stereotypes that are being boosted here are old. They're tired. They're as old as time. And so for anyone who wants to say he can't be racist, he's just telling a joke. I would like them to point out where the joke is.
Well, I mean, I could point out where the jokes are. They're just played out and old. How you doing, Mecca? You had a good day so far?
The entire exchange front to back, and yet no part of this exchange speaks to any inherent skill as a comedian. But people are laughing, one might say, but they're laughing at black women. That's what no one ever seems to point out in these conversations. Nobody is laughing at Andrew Schultz in this clip. It's 5 men sitting around laughing at black women. That is sort of the context that I feel like a lot of these comedians are missing. You are elaborately setting up all these situations and scenarios in which you can punch down at people, and then you get a whole crowd of people laughing at the people you're talking down to, and you think they're laughing because you have comedic skill. It is pure and utter delusion. And also it's racist. Even the 2 guests that were laughing admitted it after the fact. Podcast duo sorry for jokes about black women. What a headline.
Legends. They had to retract the statement.
Andrew was making a joke. I'm not even going to get into specifics. Making a frankly racist joke. Yeah. And we were laughing at it.
They then proceed to say that while they know there is no excuse, they were laughing for a reason.
Fight or flight is a real thing. Like it is, yeah. Fight or flight is a real thing. When you're in there, you're in shock.
You're in shock, and all you want to do is move on.
So they had to laugh because they were in shock. And listen, laugh.
Yeah, that's kind of a cop-out. I think they found it somewhat funny, and I think that goes into kind of the conversation that some people have about like the relationship between black men and black women. There's a bit of conflict and certain dynamics in that. Obviously, I'm not privy to talk about that, but I think that could be stated that they're kind of just trying to make sure that they're playing both sides. You know, want to play the boys game, hang out with the boys, but want to make sure that the black women in their audience don't feel unheard. But I don't know. I mean, really, the joke was dumb, but I think they just shouldn't have laughed at it. They just honestly should have just let it die and been like, nah. So you'd have a better joke if you had a black girlfriend. Just do something like that.
Laughing out of discomfort is a very real thing that I do far too often for my own.
Because also they didn't fight or flight. They could have, because I guess fight or flight would be arguing with him about why that's dumb and not like an actual, like why that doesn't make any sense. And flight would be trying to move on as quickly as possible and be like, and then they make the next, like this next statement that completely like diverts the conversation. But they just laughed, which kind of just leaves the air for more jokes. Like it leaves the room and kind of signals that it was the right thing to do. I forget what it was. There was one I heard where someone was like, it's not fight or flight. There's a third one. I forget what it was. They said something dumb like that.
Liking Frank.
If they just fighting would have just been if they just straight up punched him. But you know what I mean? Like in an argument, it can be fight or flight where all of a sudden you just get super defensive and start like arguing really quickly, maybe not making a good point or whatever. Like that could have happened, but they didn't even do that. It would have been funny if they just elbowed him right in the face from like just dude jumped off the couch, just flying elbow.
Frankly, but you guys didn't say anything. You didn't so much as side eye, head tilt, hit him with a brother. What did you mean by that? I understand being shocked that someone is being racist right in front of you, though frankly my shock only lasts for like 0.2 seconds at this point. But y'all were not the victims here. You were enabling another person to target black women as the victims. What they really should have said in their apology is, honestly, as a man, it's a lot easier to be James and Fuhad. It takes a lot less effort. It makes things a lot less complicated when you just put up with the bros instead of calling them out. People really hate to be rejected. And when you take that desire for group acceptance and add it to an environment in which there is nobody to call you out and the targets of your rhetoric are absent, that's how you wind up with a headline like podcast duo sorry for jokes about black women. Black women who are quite often left out of these conversations. And so these situations just go on and on and on ad nauseum because not only are people not listening to the
well, it's because it's not a conversation. What do you mean? They're not letting black women in on the conversation. What? That people think they're loud and obnoxious? That's not an actual conversation to have. That's just people being rude and disrespectful. Like someone who says that as if it's an actual like point to make does like that's just dumb. You can say an individual is like annoying and abrasive or whatever, and then someone could make it about race or something. But then they're being racist at that point. Calling someone annoying or saying that they're aggressive comes as like an individual trait, and the people trying to like associate it with race is what is racist. I don't know. I just kind of reiterated the same point like 3 different ways, but all just saying the same thing. This is kind of dumb.
Black women involved, they're not even talking to them in their apologies.
Y'all did not center black women in that apology. Like, why are y'all so afraid to say black women? Like, our community wouldn't apologize to our community. No, apologize to the black women within your community.
And then you wind up...
Okay, see, that at least makes sense. What D'Angelo said didn't make sense. Her thing at least is like a real like complaint of you're not actually apologizing for anything other than just going, we laughed at a bad joke that was racist. And it's like, it's not just racist. It's like, it's sexist more than racist. It's like a double-edged sword.
Missing really important nuances in the conversations like this.
But let me just talk about this freeze and flight reasoning they've given. Women who have been assaulted will talk about being in a freeze and or flight position. And I just hope that the people who can acknowledge
that's it. Fight, flight, or freeze. Some people say that they freeze up or whatever. And it's like, that just seems like you weren't supposed to make it in like the evolutionary chain. It seemed like your clan should have been, caught by a bear or something a long time ago. Like, it's not that I don't believe it. It's just genuinely like, damn, that's really what happens to you is you just go, like, that's sad.
James and Fuhad froze will also acknowledge and give the same grace to women when women talk about being in freeze and flight mode. I think that's all I want. I can't even verbalize it. This has really exhausted me today.
I think she has verbalized it though quite well. It's exhausting because this type of comedy, and more importantly, the mental gymnastics people do to excuse it, relies on so many double standards and systemic issues that whereas some people can think about it in a vacuum, others cannot. But then what happens when a black woman gets a little too exhausted and she's not verbalizing it in the exact way that people are comfortable with hearing? She gets called angry by people like this. And so,
but it's not being called angry that's the issue. Someone can go, you're acting very angry right now, and I would appreciate it if you calm down. You do this a lot, and I don't appreciate it. That isn't bad. What's racist is when you go, this is an inherent trait that black women have, and the reason that dudes get a beard is because they're waiting to get fucking smacked. Nah, bro, they need the cushion for those thighs, you know what I mean? Boom, and now there's a good joke. God damn it.
So as you can see, this isn't just racism we're dealing with here. It's like this really deeply systemic racism designed to infuriate. And it's deeply insecure because he is trying to preemptively call out the black woman for constantly complaining, as he puts it. Or as I would put it, calling out racism. And so that's how I discovered Andrew Schulz, because I saw the BBC article about the podcast duo apologizing. But it turns out that this shtick is Andrew Schulz's MO with everybody, actually. Being racist, getting a whole room of people to laugh at it, and then making it increasingly difficult for people to call out that racism without being perceived as spoiling the fun.
You know,
but trust me, people are calling it out. Andrew Schulz's anti-Indian rant in front of Indian co-host. I used to be an Andrew fan, but his comedy has turned less making fun and more about getting some deep-rooted stuff out in public. Wow.
Well, because the problem is I've seen a few things from Andrew Schulz, and he just kind of goes, he'll make a joke like that. Like, see, you can say it's a fucked up joke, but people can laugh it off or whatever and be like, ha ha ha. But the real problem is then when he goes, don't you think it's fucking true though? And they're like, what? And then he's just like, no, haven't you ever been talking to a black chick? And she's like, and you're like, bro, chill the fuck out. What the hell are you talking about? And that's like when it's an issue, when you can tell that it's actually coming from a place of hate and not just trying to make a joke. Because I could see him getting defensive in the sense of like, they're saying, oh, you don't look good because you don't have a black girlfriend. You're a white dude that just is white bread, milk toast, that kind of thing. But the way he went about it was just kind of stupid, I think, and obviously was going to get some kind of backlash.
One or more of the guys.
What is this like? He has it all zoomed in, but then this is tiny.
Around him laugh to give him approval that he's funny. This clearly isn't just a disgruntled fan making things up. This is the exact behavior that happened with James and Fuhad, except this time it happens to be about Indian people. Andrew Schulz, like Russell Peters, takes the mickey out of everyone. Usually quite wittily and with a surprising amount of cultural knowledge. Yes, it takes a lot of culture to lean into the most tired stereotypes of all time. But I see this a lot, actually, as pushback when people do speak up about this. Like, oh, he just makes, he makes fun of everyone. You know what I mean? Like, are you saying he's racist against everyone? Yes.
That's
Next,
fair.
U.S. comedian called out for anti-indigenous racism.
That's honestly a great point. I can't be racist. I'm racist to everyone. No, you're just racist to everyone. Except for your own race. Because you could even think like, oh, but I make fun of my own race. And it's just like, do you though? What are the actual things you think about your own race, huh? Because it's always white guys. How often do you see like... It happened more in the past because it was more like of the cultural thing to do, to have like black comedians doing like race jokes, talking about, white chicks with flat asses and stuff. But like, you just have to think of where it comes from. That's just coming from someone making a dumb joke. When you got a white dude making black jokes right behind that, like less than 100 years ago, bro. Or I guess a little bit over 100 years probably is blackface. I'm sure it was happening less than 100 years ago. You know what I mean. Man, it happened less than 10 years ago. But that's like kind of the undertone every time that you have any type of like white on black humor.
So you got black women on TikTok, Indian people in their own subreddit, indigenous folk in the National Indigenous Times calling the material disgusting, saying it's disgraceful, and anyone applauding this ought to be gravely ashamed. And this has been Andrew's whole gig for years at this point. Netflix goes all in on anti-Asian racism. He was on Netflix in 2019 calling coronavirus the Asian parasite and the Wuhanic plague. Don't tell America to wear masks. Tell China not to infect. I mean, let's be honest, next to squatting.
Dude, all of his jokes are like fucking shit he got off Twitter. He argues that if Xi Jinping, whom he calls Winnie the Flu, like that's a fucking joke from literal Twitter and like Chinese social media sites where they compare him to Winnie the Pooh. Like he literally is just a fucking internet lurker, but likes to act like he's this he's one of those literal, like, enlightened centrist type things. Except he's not even a centrist.
To smoke a
Bro's just an
cigarette,
idiot.
slinging viruses is their favorite thing to do. He then goes on to claim he's not talking about Chinese people, only the Chinese government. Really, Andrew, the Chinese government is squatting to smoke a cigarette? Sounds like something a person would do, but what do I know? I'm just an angry black woman.
Okay. But I don't think any fucking Asian person would argue that there are a lot of Asians that squat to smoke cigarettes. I see them do it all the time, and I live in I live in America. I squat with them and smoke cigarettes. It's just comfortable. But like, I guess I just have to hear the joke he made because that's probably just all he said. He just saw an Asian person. He's like, "What are they gonna go squat and smoke a cigarette?" And that was all he said.
Woman on the internet. But no, jokes aside, I am not a woman. And if I was, I honestly shudder to think how poorly this video would be received. Because despite all the criticism, you've got Andrew over here with his 3 million subscribers. Who
No, you shouldn't have given him that in. Now he's gonna be like, well, why don't you identify as one? We live in that kind of age, right?
Sure would be really happy to jump in and let me know just how wrong I am. And looking at Andrew's channel, you can really see how this is all he has. A gay Mexican serial killer? The Middle East has gay people now? Palestine protests taken over by lesbians? Be careful with Latinas. Interracial couple gets roasted. Like, it doesn't even really matter what he's saying in these clips. What he's doing is extremely deliberate. The most
Albino says the N-word part 2.
most popular piece of content he's ever uploaded is called Albino Says the N-Word. This was never about comedy.
And it's got a sequel to it. That's how popular it was. That's amazing.
Just about shock, stereotypes, and contextualizing yourself in a way where you can never really get called out for it because you surround yourself with people who laugh. I'm sure the #1 pushback I'm gonna get from people on this video is, no, you're calling him racist, but he has this whole podcast with a black man. The brilliant idiots. But has it occurred to you that I do not care? This isn't a sign of anything other than Charlemagne's willingness to put up with Andrew. And Andrew really seems to have bought into.
Maybe he didn't realize that shorts could be longer. And I think people forget that you can have like an internal, because the real truth of the matter is we all have our own internal biases, you know what I mean? Everybody has that fear of, you know, and it's not just races, you know. Some people, if you see some tatted up white dude coming through the store or something, you're going to be feeling a little different, you know what I mean? We all have our internal biases, but the whole thing is about working past them and like, you know, trying to be a justifiable human being, something that you could actually go, this makes sense because we're all human beings, and regardless of, you know, the way you look, the way you even might act in certain moments, we can all coexist in the world. Because yeah, it's just, I don't know, people like to act like, oh, I'm not a bigoted person, and it's just like, but you are. You're just bigoted to people that you feel it's justifiable to hate. You know, everybody's bigoted to pedophiles and serial killers. Is that wrong? No, you should be. But it's like, obviously you're going to have certain feelings towards people the way, like, depending on how you're raised. Yeah, the first part is him just no, yeah, he says it twice. That's why they have two parts. He said it once and they kind of went, try it again. You could say it better. And then they had him do it again. They didn't believe him after saying it the first time.
To this idea of like,
they said, nah, you're just a white guy. You're not really albino.
A pass from the black community. Even the way he talks is so deliberately put on. Like, just listen.
And I hate to make the joke because everybody says it, but he looks like fucking Adolf. Like, and this goose step isn't helping him.
And you'll see exactly what I mean.
Can you make sure she was strong enough to do it? That's a heavy door. Let's not play games. Come on now. That was a good ad. That's a Mexican right there. Only a Mexican could whistle like a bluebird. That was incredible.
Come on now. That's a Mexican right there. That was a good whistle. Like, Andrew, why are you speaking like this? Why have you affected this tone when this is how you actually speak?
Yeah, they were putting this version of stand-up out there that just wasn't that funny. And it was just like super...
Hey, it's called code switching. As a black man, you should know about it. Don't be fucking rude and be talking. People grow up in different communities and you might have to talk different ways. That's just life. And I know that code switching has been more associated with the black community, but hey, I'm going to be streaming for the next, hour and 40 minutes. That's how long I'll be streaming till.
Cookie cutter, very polite, very kind of like woke, not right.
Because like it's true. I mean, I think code switching is true about everybody. Everybody talks differently depending on who you're talking to. Like you're not going to be going up to your grandma being like, man, I had a fucking shitty day today. This stupid bitch was fucking, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to do that because it's disrespectful. And you know, there are times where I have Mexican family and stuff, and growing up I could feel myself falling into, you know, you get a little loose, you start talking to people and you feel yourself like matching their cadence. And that happens with everybody. I mean, but I think the problem is yeah, when somebody that might not do it a lot does it specifically for crowds. Because I could tell, I don't think that he was even putting on a voice. I felt like he was trying to make his voice deeper.
Ruffling any feathers. And I just always found things funnier that were a little bit maybe darker, twisted, devil's advocate-y. Like, what's the worst thing that I can defend in a comedic way?
I actually find that a lot of comedians do this and people are just shockingly okay with it. Where they get up on that stage and it's like, shoot, you're hearing a completely different person. And it's like, you just code switched from white to white with extra steps. What do you mean? Unless you think I'm just reaching or grasping at straws, this is something that thousands of people have acknowledged. When Andrew appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast, which we'll get to in a second, one of the top comments said, Joe should have scheduled a black guy to come on halfway through so we could have 2 hours of white Schultz and 2 hours of black Schultz. It is so very obvious, regardless of whether people want to see it or not. I kind of love his appearance here on the Joe Rogan podcast because it really just exposes how when you take away the racism, the offensive material, Andrew Schultz doesn't have an original thought in that head of his.
Orangutan is stabbing fish while hanging from a tree like this. They figured out how to use tools.
So if, whoa, this is actually interesting. So if we're watching them in their Stone Age, it's completely plausible that some other life form is watching us in our advanced state of evolution.
He does this so often where he'll just say the most obvious statement that even a 12-year-old could have surmised. And then he'll just lean back like, wow, I really just did that.
I feel like Joe kind of went to like, yeah, that's basically the point I was making.
The dome.
Imagine we lived through the time where I couldn't get in touch with you unless you were home and could hear your phone.
Yeah.
And we could also live in a time where I could instantaneously be at your house.
Yeah, in the same life.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a grown man so stupid it makes you want to cry? And when Joe Rogan fans are unanimously calling you out, you know you've messed something up. Andrew's the type of guy who finishes your sentence and now that's his idea. He's the type of guy to ask questions he thinks he already knows the answer to.
If you think that your jokes are dark and twisted, it means that they're probably just a little offensive. Most of the time, they're not even that offensive because it's like, I don't know. I always think of, I'm a terrible person, right? So one of the things that I always try and do is when I meet somebody, I think of the worst thing that I could say to them. And I don't plan on using it. But the whole point is to have ammunition. So in case they ever try to insult you, you can just rapid fire something right back at them. And it's a nice thing. It works out. But using like, and sometimes they're terrible. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes they're not even jokes. It's like, oh man, you're such a terrible driver. Yeah, well, your dad's dead. Ask him to drive you. What are you gonna do? Nah, but literally, it's just like this. Those type of things aren't even like to say something like that right here is somewhat of a joke and kind of dumb or whatever. But if I was to actually do that to somebody, that would be so fucked up. Like, that would actually be a horrible thing to do. And it's almost never funny, even if it gets a laugh or two. It's like the amount of it's almost like you need to weigh the pros and the cons. Did it hurt more than it made people laugh? If it made a lot of people laugh, the terrible part about that is if you think about it like that, then eventually enough people will have laughed at terrible events like the and people can laugh at those eventually.
The
If you
exact
made
type
out what those were just by the noises, good on you.
of guy that thinks comedians are modern day philosophers. But it's not just commenters who call him out for his Schultz epiphanies. These are things that are so easy to see through. Even a fellow comedian called him out to his face at one point. This is one of the rare instances where you're going to see Andrew Schultz receive feedback that is anything other than forced laughter.
I have everything I need, and I'm not happy as angst.
Feel.
Whoa.
I love Schultz
What are you
epiphanies.
talking about?
Schultz epiphanies are my favorite. He repeats a statement. He's like,
That's crazy, though.
This podcast crew definitely lets him just go on his philosophy talks for way too long. And the fact that they laughed at him when Shane said that just shows they agree. Good episode, though. Not even this man's fans can take him seriously at this point. Like, truly,
Yes,
who does
the
he have left? And actually, speaking of Shane Gillis, I'm not really very familiar with him, but I did find it very interesting that in this very same podcast episode, he actually does the only thing I've ever wanted to see happen to any of these podcast bros with their microphones and their comedy specials. Shane Gillis calls Andrew Schultz unfunny to his face, and Andrew's reaction is genuinely incredible to me. It really just confirms every suspicion I had about him, which is that, again, when you take away all of the nonsense, there is absolutely nothing there. He has no legs to stand on. So for context, they pull up this picture of this lifter with Down syndrome who they're comparing to Shane.
Oh yeah, I've seen this this clip. He basically just starts going, "What's the joke? What's funny?" The joke is that this is a guy with Down syndrome and thus he is less of a person. And so you look like this less of a person. Because it wouldn't be funny if it was like, oh, he's lifting weights. Because it's not like he actually looks like him. He's just saying, you look like you have Down syndrome. And he, not me, he is saying, and I think they're less of people.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Bro, you look good.
What you're about to see is one of the deepest clips on the internet, because in real time, you're going to see a man in this all-man environment go through the calculations, run the numbers, and try to figure out what will happen if he actually says something. The thing that never happens.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the real thing here is who thinks he's a man getting confronted by a real man, a guy who thinks he's making a joke and being clever, being confronted by someone who actually has known people with Down syndrome and stuff and has like a closer connection to it, so is able to be like, hey, what's funny about this?
I just want to hear the sound.
It's a Sue. It's a
Yeah.
And then, by golly, he actually says something.
Nah, you look great, dog. Congrats.
I don't think that's funny.
But yeah, I see that. I see why.
Like, you don't get it, you mean?
Immediately flipping this into, oh, you just don't understand it. Like, what?
Yeah, that's when you hit him. What's there to get?
It's in real time as this entire podcast of guys just starts crumbling into middle school.
That rope.
Because when it comes back, what it leads into.
Olive Garden.
I got what it leads into is more offensive things. So the idea that it's okay to make fun of somebody with Down syndrome or whatever. So you're eventually going to be back at the point where you think it's okay to be like, oh, the lazy Mexicans, the smelly Indian people, like, you know what I mean? People saying crazy shit like that online, and it's just like, you can think it's a joke or whatever, but actually acting like that and being like, you stink, what are you know what I mean? That shit's like crazy. And doing it to people that are already at a diminished capacity is even more fucked up, especially when some of them are funnier than you.
Stand it.
Yeah.
I don't get the joke. What do you say?
Yeah, it's okay, dude. It's okay.
Realizing in real time that this is in fact middle school behavior and you can opt out of it is just so fascinating to me to watch. Again, David Attenborough, where are you?
How old are you guys?
Say what?
38, dude.
Oh, wow.
38.
You guys act young as though. You guys, what are you guys, 18?
Also, Andrew Schultz is 40, by the way. Like, actually 40. Like, on God, unironically born in 1983, 40. Like, older than Shane Gillis, 40. What are you doing with your life, my guy? What is any of this? How are you cool with this being your internet presence?
I think Shane Gillis is in his 30s, but he looks like the type of guy that would be like, yeah, I'm actually 25. I just drink a lot.
Or someone will ask, what does his age have to do with it? It has everything to do with it. This guy is stuck. You want to be black, you'll never be black. You want to be a cool kid, that ship has sailed. You are the cool kid's dad at this point. And this like inauthentic, fake, forced nonsense.
No, yeah, you're the kid's cool dad who nobody likes the kid, they only like his dad, and then the kid ends up resenting him. I've known a few of those in my life.
That has wormed its way into his entire shtick. It's so indicative of Andrew Schultz just being the worst type of comedian, aka a storyteller with.
I have to say, he started off a little bit slow. The introduction bit I thought was a little weak, but I think what he's doing is he's building more of like, it's just his character rather than just a few jokes or whatever. The jokes aren't the problem, it's him as a person.
With no story to tell.
By the way,
That's wild.
these guys are awesome. They're having fun.
Yeah.
For you guys to sit here and be like,
Wait a minute.
let's bring it.
Because literally, like, it was a video of a dude with Down syndrome dancing, and they're basically going, look, bro, this guy looks like you. See him dancing? Fucking dance, monkey dance. Like, that's what you're doing, and that's fucked up. Like, it's actually crazy.
No, mock them.
For sure.
That's up, dude. That's
Take it easy, dude. If I don't see you again, see you later.
By using them as an insult.
Using. This is you back in your victim thing.
No, I'm not being a victim. I'm saying the jokes you're doing is not. It's not like.
It's not PC.
That's not cool.
You know what's really great?
Triggering?
You're triggered. It's not PC. You don't get it. You're being a victim. Within seconds, these people have turned into caricatures. All Shane had to do was sit there and say, this isn't funny. This feels mean. And they lost it. It's a wrap. If there's just one thing I really want to leave you with, it's the fact that under no circumstances should this man ever be called funny.
If Hawk Tuah Girl goes down on Mr. Beast and shows what she can actually do.
If Hawk Tuah Girl goes down on Mr. Beast in Ohio, while Baby Gronk rizzes up Livy Dunn, while the Rizzler and the Costco guys have a battle with the... Like, bro, what? Why would you actually unironically say something like this? His brain is truly rotted with his fucking Nazi cut. He just needs to shave the sides of his mustache and he'll be right there.
I think that's 1 billion views. What we need to do is see if Chris can still get his son. We need to see if Chris got the Mr. Beast left in him. We need to see if Chris got the bow wow yippee yo yippee yay. Where my dogs at? Bark with me now.
Yeah, we're calling this person a comedian. Great. And you know, it must be a bit of a tortured existence seeing all these people calling you a comedian while knowing deep down that you are in fact just a one-trick 2D, unfunny, fake deep, fake voice, no poise, overrated, thinks I hate it, spineless, racist, mindless, tasteless, born in 83 Gen Z wannabe who mistook TikTok for talent and is now killing comedy one brain cell at a time. Respectfully. But that's my take on the situation. Dave's take on the situation is that maybe the fact that Andrew finds himself funny does have a comedic value that is just completely separate from Andrew's lack of skill. And I'm of course excited to hear your take. I mean, this is the part of the video where a layman would ask you to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. But I will ask you to enroll, evaluate the video, and submit your feedback. Because I am of course running a...
Yeah, and I'll tell you to like, comment, and subscribe down below, baby. Let's go!
100% completely, totally, all the way, okay, maybe not really, unaccredited university. Probably. Just ask anybody in the student body and they'll confirm it for you. We're totally legit. And
Oh, D'Angelo, you're so silly. And now let's go on to a brief history of shock sites.
Now the third time.
Okay, this video came out 4 weeks ago by Randy Moon, and it's called A Brief History of Shock Sites. And let me just say, I've seen shock sites since I was a young boy. I remember the likes of ISIS beheadings, Funky Town, One Lunatic, One Ice Pick. I've seen them all. And I feel like my brain is destroyed by it. But some wonder, where did they go? Where have they gone in the wind? They're not actually gone. You can still find all of that stuff online. So let's hear where the most popular ones went, I guess.
This is now the third time I've worn this shirt in a video. What can I say? It's
very quiet.
Relevant to a lot of video topics. In my Whatever Happened to Profile customization video, I asked if anyone would be interested in me making a video about old shock sites. And several people said they would like to see that, so this is that video.
Did people call them shock sites? I thought people just called them gore sites. Like, I'm not even kidding. People who call them shocks, maybe it's because you can't say gore on YouTube. But like, legitimately, who called them shock sites back in the day?
Just a heads up that I'm going to be...
Like, I know they're shocking, but I guess there's a few that aren't necessarily gore. Like Meat Spin, that's a shock site. 2 Girls, 1 Cup is technically a shock site.
Discussing some topics that are not safe for work or not safe for life. I'm not going to be going into graphic detail about anything, obviously, but probably don't watch this video out loud at work or in front of your grandma. Or
Got my
something.
headphones on.
Let's hope to God
and nobody
this
else is
doesn't
here.
get age restricted or demonetized. It's no secret that the internet is home to some pretty awful things. Creeps, rage bait, Twitter, but we tend to think of the worst as being tucked away in shadowy corners of the dark web. There's plenty of disturbing stuff available on the clear web, however. All of the sites I'm going to discuss today could easily be found through a Google search, or Bing if you're freaky like that. So what exactly is a shock site? The most basic...
All the ones, I'm pretty sure most of the ones in her thumbnail aren't around anymore. Best Gore is gone, LiveLeak is gone.
Definition is a website that showcases explicit material, often violent or sexual in nature, with the intention to be shocking. Some of these websites contain...
I have to say, I was always more of a violence guy. I feel like the true depravity comes to when you're watching violent sex acts happening. If that's happening, like, you have to be an actual depraved motherfucker. Because I think that part of the allure of shock sites come from the fact that people want to know the true limits of human beings, and seeing people literally become like atomized in real time is kind of insane. Watching someone's skin being peeled off by like machinery, and like some of them aren't like cartel videos, some of them aren't like these crazy ISIS beheadings and stuff. Some of them are literally like factory videos, people getting crushed at work, like random accidents in the street and stuff. And those things are like educational on some level if you really think about it. And I think the interest comes from that some people are interested in the true nature of humans, and one, seeing how far like the human body, like the testament to the human body and all that, and then also the depravity of humans and like the levels that we're like how we're willing to treat each other is kind of insane.
Galleries of this kind of material for users to browse and are updated regularly, potentially allowing users to submit content themselves, while others contain a single image or video meant to be shared around, often as part of a bait-and-switch prank. I'll be talking about both kinds of websites in this video, from oldest to most recent. Now if you're ready, let us dive into the soft white underbelly of the internet and eviscerate it for all to see.
I want to see the real you.
Well, are you ready to hear about some gore sites?
One of the first, and certainly one of the most infamous shock sites, was Rotten.com. It was launched in 1996 by a developer known as Soylent Communications. The site's tagline was an archive of disturbing illustration, and it hosted a collection of various macabre images, videos, articles, and news stories that included footage of violent acts and horrific accidents, medical, forensic, and autopsy photographs, weird porn, and all manner of other gross and disturbing things. The sparse Web 1.0 layout of the site...
Don't worry, there won't actually be anything shown. I hope. It would be kind of crazy if this video's been up for 4 weeks with almost 1 million views if they were actually showing some real shock sites, but I'm sure we'll get a taste. Or two.
Featured links with taglines that would allude to the content the link led to in an ironic or humorous manner, but there were no thumbnails, so it was always a bit of a gamble what you would find whenever you clicked on something. Most content was submitted to the developers by users of the site. As you can imagine, the site was no stranger to controversy. In 1997, people flocked to the site when alleged images of Princess Diana's body being pulled from the car wreck that killed her were leaked on it, though these were later proven to be fake. Several other dead celebrity photos made their way to the site over the years, which were a major source of traffic for Rotten.
I mean, you can literally just look up, like, JFK autopsy, and look at the pictures of JFK's face, like, blown open from when he got assassinated. Like, all that stuff is, because like I said before, a lot of that stuff is educational. That's seen as, like, medical and educational material. And it's insane. You know, it's the same way that people have, like, real skeletons in classrooms.
They also drew criticism for posting photos from the 9/11 attacks, particularly of people jumping from the burning towers. They even received legal threats over the years, including but not limited to...
But yeah, I'm pretty sure Rotten.com would be like a person jumping out of the towers, but then it being like some like tagline that's supposed to be a joke. So yeah, they get pretty depraved on those sites.
A cease and desist from toy company Mattel after Soylent obtained the domain Mattel, spelled Matell.com, and had it redirect to the Rotten homepage, meaning people looking for Barbies were one typo away from instead seeing Tub Girl, and an investigation by the FBI and Scotland Yard into an image posted on the site that involved infanticide and cannibalism, though this too was proven to be fake. The developers proudly displayed their various cease and desist letters in a dedicated section of the website. The gruesome content and various controversies did not drive people away from the site, however. If anything, it seems it made it all the more popular. By 2001, Soylent claimed that the site was seeing around 200,000 visitors.
When it comes to crazy stuff online, you always have to be prepared for something like Mattel to come in, or Pepsi Cola to have some argument with them or something. Like, I forget what there was like an actual like whole lawsuit because of Two Girls One Cup. You know, stuff comes out of, you know, stuff can happen sometimes.
Visitors a day. As the site grew in popularity into the early 2000s, various spin-off sites were created. One was Rotten Library, an encyclopedia intended to supplement the main site with satirical articles on various topics related to Rotten's content. The Daily Rotten was a news site that posted disturbing user-submitted news stories every day. Boners.com was a page that posted daily humorous images, usually less explicit in nature than what was featured on the main site. The Gaping Maw featured satirical editorials that provided commentary on current events and modern society. This site was actually shut down in 2005 in order to comply with a new US law about the online distribution of pornography. In 2003, Rotten launched a Deadpool where users could submit their predictions of famous people who would die that coming year and receive points for correct guesses.
I remember that, and I completely forgot that was a thing. Like, I don't know if that was around when I was using the internet, like when I started using the internet, but I remember hearing about that a long time ago.
It didn't count if the person was murdered, though, for obvious reasons. In 2002, they launched the Notable Names database, a website documenting the activities of and connections between notable people. In their words, a person's otherwise inexplicable behavior is often understood by examining the crowd that person has been associating with. Bro thinks he's in a William Gibson novel. This website is still live, but it looks like it hasn't been updated since 2021. Finally, Sports Dignity was a catalog of embarrassing or not safe for work incidents during sports games. The site even started selling merchandise as well. Rotten continued to go strong until the late 2000s when updates to the site...
Is that where you got the shirt?
became less frequent, eventually stopping altogether in 2012. In 2018, people noticed that the site was no longer available. It had temporarily gone down previously in 2017 due to a hardware issue, but this time it did not return. To my knowledge, Soylent has not made a statement as to why he chose to discontinue the site, but given it hadn't been updated in years, it's likely he just lost interest and decided not to renew the domain, or figured trying to operate such a site in an increasingly moderated internet landscape was an exercise in futility. It can still be accessed via the Wayback Machine, but do so at your own risk. You may be wondering why anyone would create a website full of some of the most horrible things humanity has to offer. Well, Rotten tried to justify its existence by claiming to be advocating for free speech and fighting against internet censorship. As I mentioned in my profile customization video—
That's a stupid argument, and you could tell could only come from people that are actually, like, just trying to show depravity. Because like I was saying, you can make the argument that these are like, this is the real world. In the real world, people die, people get tortured, things are terrible. And it's like, it's good to know about these things, but it's not good to like fester on them and to like fuel the fires and like, you know, be so worried. Because the best thing you can do to, you know, help yourself in those cases is to avoid looking at it, build up yourself, become strong-minded and strong-willed, and in case, you know, eventually you have to face adversity to such a crazy degree.
The internet was sort of the Wild West in the 90s and early 2000s, leading to much pearl-clutching by concerned parents who implored the government to do something about it. In 1996, the United States government passed the Communications Decency Act in an attempt to regulate online material deemed indecent or obscene. While the act was ruled unconstitutional in 1997, it wouldn't be the last attempt to control what kind of material is made available online, and similar laws have been successfully passed in other countries. According to Rotten, such attempts at censorship of the internet are impractical, unethical, and wrong, and they pledge to continue to serve as a haven for free speech of a most controversial nature. Until 2018, anyways.
Lost Arizona access?
Where can we find a low-cost health plan?
What about a plan that covers doctors?
Ogrish was another staple for shock site enthusiasts in the 2000s. Founded in the year 2000, it branded itself as an alternative news source, providing unfiltered, uncensored news coverage and other graphic material. It featured the taglines "Uncover Reality" and "Can You Handle Life?" In particular, it became a repository for footage from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, execution videos by Mexican drug cartels and the Islamic State, and Russian dashcam videos. A separate website was created for forums where users could discuss the content they had seen on the website, called ogrishforum.com, that had over 200,000 users at its peak. Ogrish was relatively short-lived, closing down after just 6 years. The URL redirected to a new website called LiveLeak, a video-sharing site created in part by the founders of Ogrish. Now with the tagline "Redefining the Media," it aimed to carry on the mission of its predecessor in sharing uncensored footage of world.
And LiveLeak probably became the most popular shock site in the world, like, honestly. And I remember when it got... Is it still taken down? Did anyone ever, like, try and bring it back up or something? Because I remember when it got taken down and everyone was like, no, where do I get all my war footage now?
Events. Most videos were user submitted, and videos from other websites could be embedded. It was kind of like evil YouTube. The logo even vaguely resembled the old YouTube logo.
Yeah, and it because it wasn't, yeah, LiveLeak was also because it was called LiveLeak, I'm pretty sure, because a lot of the footage was taken from like live streams and stuff that would be then re-uploaded, because like a lot of that's hard to archive, like people that would like do like murders on Facebook Live and stuff, and then it would get re-uploaded to LiveLeak.
Unlike Rotten, which was couched in dark humor, LiveLeak tried to take itself a bit more seriously and become a credible news source. It seemed to somewhat succeed at this, receiving shoutouts from politicians and having its videos used by mainstream news organizations. But for the most part, it seemed to get lumped in with all the other shock and gore sites that middle schoolers would show to their friends in the computer lab when the teachers weren't looking. This attempt at a more professional image did not shield it from controversy, except instead of receiving legal threats from corporations and law enforcement, it received threats from criminals and terrorists. For instance, the site was attacked by South Korean hackers after a video of the execution of Kim Sun-il was posted in 2004, and site co-founder Hayden Hewitt received threats against his and his family's lives for allowing an anti-Islam film to be posted on the site in 2008. The site gained notoriety in 2007 for hosting a video of the execution of Saddam Hussein, and again in 2014.
I mean, to be fair, that's what I just find funny is, yeah, it's like different things happen across the world, and honestly, the censorship of it is kind of dumb, because if people are looking for it, they should be able to go to a site like that to be able to see it. It's not like something like YouTube where it should be censored because kids are on YouTube, teenagers are on YouTube, all that type of stuff. Like a site like LiveLeak was meant to have those type of videos, and like, I don't know, it makes sense to me.
Islam film to be posted on the site in 2000.
Especially with stuff like that, because what you want is to be able to have like discussions, and like the execution of Saddam Hussein was literally filmed and broadcast on their TVs in, I forget what country Saddam Hussein was from. Was that Afghanistan? I don't know. Whatever, not Afghanistan. Iraq? I think Iraq. But you get what I mean. Because they literally broadcasted it themselves. So why not at least have it somewhere online for the American public to be able to know what's happening across the world?
2008. The site gained notoriety in 2007 for hosting a video of the execution of Saddam Hussein, and again in 2014 for hosting a video of the execution of American journalist James Foley by the terrorist organization ISIS. Shortly after this last incident, they made the decision to disallow all execution footage produced by the Islamic State. By 2019, it was reported as being the 695th most popular site on the web. Put that into context a bit more, this was roughly on par with more mainstream sites such as satirical news site The Onion and feminist news site Jezebel. It was also featured in my favorite terrible horror movie, Unfriended. LiveLeak ended up shutting down in 2021. The exact reasons for its closure are unclear, but in a blog post announcing the shutdown, Hewitt said they felt LiveLeak had achieved all that it could, and it was time for us to try something new and exciting. The world has changed a lot over these last few years, the internet alongside it, and we as people. In a video posted to his YouTube channel, he stated that maintaining LiveLeak had become a struggle and that he and his team had run out of steam. Quote, "Everything's different now. Everything moves on. I don't fucking like it. I liked it much better when it was the Wild West." The LiveLeak URL now redirects.
That's kind of funny because low-key what he's saying is, I liked it better when no one knew who I was. Now I'm getting threats from ISIS.
To ItemFix, another video sharing site that, ironically, explicitly bans media containing excessive violence or gory content. Like Rotten, it is available on the Wayback Machine, but it seems the videos from any captures prior to 2021 aren't playable because they ran using Flash Player. Similar to Rotten, Hewitt claimed his website served a greater purpose than merely providing disturbing content to shock people. He argued it's important to provide an outlet for uncensored footage of world events, saying, "Look, all of this is happening. This is real life. This is what's going on. We're going to show it." Evidently not everyone agreed with him, since several ISPs in Europe blocked the site in 2005. Next up on our list is Best Gore. This website was founded in 2008 by...
This one actually got taken down not that long ago. This was in the circles that I ran in high school, this was a very popular site.
Slovak-Canadian Mark Merrick, a part of our history. As with the two other sites, it contained galleries of user-submitted images and videos depicting graphic material. Users could also leave comments directly on the posts. The website gained notoriety in 2012 when a video titled "One Lunatic, One Ice Pick" was uploaded. This extremely graphic video showed the real-life brutal killing of a Chinese man, Jun Lin, who was living in Montreal.
I saw that video in 7th grade. And I showed it to some of my friends because I was like, you guys aren't going to believe this. And I told them about it and they were like, no way. And then one of my friends was like, I need to watch this all the way through. This is a real life. And I think I might have broken his brain. But hey, what are you going to do? Nah, he's fine. He's doing great things now.
Canada as an international student at Concordia University. The video had been sent to Merrick by Lin's killer, who subsequently posted it on Best Gore. This move landed Merrick in legal hot water. The video was eventually taken down, and Merrick was charged with corrupting morals by Edmonton police, to which he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 3 months of house arrest followed by 3 months of community service. However, he protested his conviction by putting a piece of duct tape over his mouth and holding up a sign saying "guilty of Canadian thought crimes" as he left court. During his hearing, he claimed that posting the video on his website allowed the public to identify the killer long before police did. It seems there could be a shred of truth to this. An American lawyer did apparently see the video and attempt to report it to Canadian and American authorities, but was brushed off. Despite all of this, Best Gore remained active for several more years, shutting down in 2020. Merrick had previously stated that the site cost more to run than it generated in revenue.
It also, I don't know why she talked about him. She should have talked about the guy for a second, because that dude was crazy and was caught in a cafe. Yeah, he was caught in a cafe because basically it was really fucked up. He killed a dude, like dismembered him, fed it to a puppy, filmed the whole thing, you know, did bad things to the dead body and stuff, and then like just left, was found in a cafe. The police found him and he was Googling himself. Like, he was so obsessed with his story and everything that was going viral across the internet. And it's like, the dude was an actual psycho. And I don't know if he got the death penalty, what happened to him, but I do know he got arrested at least. And for something, because he, before that, was also like killing kittens and stuff and putting it on YouTube. Yeah. Very fucked up stuff. I didn't know that was the thing that got him in trouble with the site, because the site, she's still talking about it, but yeah.
Can't imagine it was attracting too many advertisers. He also cited wanting to spend more time with his family, whom he had been neglecting in favor of running the site, as a reason for stepping away. Imagine being this guy's kid and having to explain to your therapist that you have daddy issues because your dad was too busy running a gore website to pay attention to you. But according to Merrick, posting videos of horrific crimes online was all for the public good. He claimed that such videos exposed police brutality, government abuse of citizens, war profiteering, and similar anti-people activities. For instance, he pointed out that Best Gore users were able to identify—
I literally looked up just the name of it, just One Lunatic When I Speak, and it's still up online. You can still go find the video. That is a real murder video. People talk about snuff films not being real. There are snuff films online, and that's what's so fucked up, is it is like on like the surface web. Goddamn. His name was Luca Magnotta. Luka, Luca M-A-G, Notta, N-O-T-T-A. Luca Magnotta. And let's see. He was convicted. What was his actual sentencing? I'm trying to look at what his sentencing was. Oh no, I just found right here, March 4th, 2024, Luca Magnotta now living in medium security prison. That was from March 4th. Yeah, he was found guilty of first-degree murder in 2014. And oh, he also, I didn't know this, he sent the body parts to political parties and schools with threatening messages. That's crazy. I just have an ad blocker on. That's usually how the sentencings work for things like murder. But I imagine the parole won't be I imagine he won't get parole.
And a video being used as propaganda by Syrian rebels as actually having originated from Mexico, since the video had been available on Best Gore since before the beginning of the Syrian Revolution. I'm all for exposing propaganda, but this guy has made some comments that hint at him being a Holocaust denier, which diminishes the credibility of that statement just a little bit for me. He has also purported to receive messages from users of the site saying that viewing gore videos made them more aware of the fragility of the human body, and convinced them to take their lives and their safety more seriously. Others have said that the videos desensitized them to death and violence, better preparing them.
All that stuff is just fucking, that's what like stupid people say. I watch it because it makes me stronger. It got my brain now, like that's what, I'm pretty sure Andrew Tate said that. He's like, I watch gore videos because if I'm sitting in fucking Paris and some terrorists come up with guns, with AKs, and it's boom, boom, shooting people, you're all like, he said some shit like that, and he's like, I'll just be there and I'm gonna take him out. It's just like, bro, no you wouldn't. I don't think anything can prepare you for a situation like that. Like, you can hope. The only thing that could really prepare you is training, like I was saying. Train in some hand-to-hand combat. Find a person evenly sized to you and really go at it. Get some rubber knives and see how well you can do it with each other.
For a career.
It's just such like a simple thing to say, being like, I watch gore videos because it makes me desensitized. No. You might be a little desensitized, but I bet there are still moments where they're like, oh no, I had a bad dream. Like, I have to say, I have dreams sometimes where I die a lot in my dreams. And maybe that's a cause. Because I swear I die a lot in my dreams. Car crashes, like falling off cliffs, getting shot. A lot of different stuff. But sometimes I get the thing where I wake up. Sometimes I just die and I'm like, damn. And then it takes a minute, then I wake up.
Military or as a paramedic. The Internet Archive apparently does not share Merrick's views, given they've chosen to exclude the Best Gore URL from the Wayback Machine. There's a top.
It is like the worst site, honestly. There's so many more. I think Best Gore is what spawned all of the modern shock sites.
Copycat site called bestgore.fun that, as far as I can tell, is unaffiliated with Merrick and the original website. But if it's anything like the original Best Gore was, I would have to say I agree with the Internet Archive's decision. I didn't last 30 seconds on that homepage, and I didn't even click any links or anything.
Oh, I think I remember this too.
Run the Gauntlet is a relatively new shock site, being founded in 2015, and is the only one so far that is still available today. Its slogan is, the most vile, puke-inducing...
I could name like 20 right now. I'm not going to, because it's not, you shouldn't go look at them. But I swear, I could name a bunch that are still up right now. I don't know what she's talking about.
Hard-to-watch videos on the internet. The name comes from a historic form of corporal punishment known as running the gauntlet, in which the guilty party is forced to run between two rows of soldiers who would lash out at them with weapons as they passed. It features the usual shock site fare, but it is most notable for the Run the Gauntlet challenge. To successfully complete this challenge, challengers must sit through 20 shock videos that gradually increase in intensity
I do remember
without
this.
being able to pause or skip them.
Again, in 2015, I was 14, so that was like prime time for this type of stuff with, phones were still kind of new. You double dog dare me to name them? The ones I can think of, the main one I can think of off the top of my head is crazyshit.com. Crazy Shit has a lot of porn on it too, though. And then, that's like the one difference is crazyshit.com has a lot of other things that aren't good. And then this is one I just saw. What was that? Here's the thing. I can't name them off the top of my head because I'm a normal person who doesn't go look at them all the time. Oh, weird. I looked it up once. It is a good name. Here's the thing. And Crazy Shit is a decent site because it actually has like a bunch of different videos. It has porn, it has gore, but it also has like cool fight videos that are like crazier than ones you get on like Twitter and stuff. They have like people fighting with like machetes and stuff where they don't actually die, but you can tell they're getting fucked up. And then they have ones where they end up actually killing each other with the machetes. And that's kind of when you're like, oh shit, we're going a little far here.
With 5 levels of difficulty ranging from beginner to insane. The later levels include infamous gore videos such as 1 guy, 1 jar, and 3 guys, 1 hammer. If you don't know what those are, no, I won't be explaining it. If you're
Or 2 kids, 1 sandbox. Don't worry, those don't actually involve children. It involves sounding.
curious about the full contents of the challenge but don't want to attempt it yourself, Hannah the Horrible made a video going through each level, or there's a full list of the contents available on the Screamer wiki. You don't win anything for completing this challenge, other than the bragging rights of being the biggest edgelord on the World Wide Web, I guess. If you want to do a similar type of challenge, but don't think you can stomach the videos in the Run the Gauntlet challenge, the website also has a completely safer work cringe edition of the challenge with 41 videos that are hard to watch in a different way. Reaction videos to the challenge became popular on YouTube shortly after its release, and in 2022 it received a resurgence of attention on TikTok. Unlike the owners of the past 3 sites, the guy behind Run the Gauntlet doesn't bother trying to justify or moralize its existence. He said he merely wanted to create a platform with gradually more extreme videos so that by the end of it, you'd seen it all and are—
See, I was an edgelord at one point. I think I'm an edgelord all grown up. Not much has changed.
probably desensitized to anything else on the internet.
Oh, what is
it? Should I run the gauntlet on my other monitor and just silently watch it?
Holding a cookie?
So far we've talked about websites that consist of a compilation of shock images and videos of all varieties, but many of the most popular shock sites contain just one piece of disturbing media. Throughout the 2000s, it was popular to make reaction videos to them or trick your friends into clicking on the link, similar to a Rickroll. One of the first was goatsy.cx, a website
Here, I'll
that—
do it. She said it was still up, so I'll do it on my other monitor. Okay, let me just make sure. I'm gonna have I need to pull my my like OBS to make sure I don't accidentally pull it up or something, because that would be bad. Let's go. Okay, 3, 2, 8. Let me turn off the sound just in case there's audio. It's not gonna. I'm not gonna. I don't really care. Let's do it. So this first one is totally just a lady breaking her arm. I've seen this one. The video's not even playing. There's newest videos on the bottom of the page that are just they aren't good. Oh, there we go. I had to click it. I didn't know I had to click it. I haven't done this in years. Yeah, this is a lady breaking her arm. I've seen this. I've seen this many times, this lady breaking her arm. They're doing a arm wrestling, just straight snaps her arm out of place. They're Australian though, she'll be fine. Gotta go ahead and call 911. Going to the next level. Oh, I've seen this. This is probably the one that actually gets me the most. In Jackass, they did a thing where he did paper cuts in between his fingers. In between his fingers and his toes. That's why if you're ever arm wrestling, you have to make sure your whole body is being used. Like, you don't want it to all be on your elbow. You want to kind of use your shoulder and stuff too. Now this is pretty crazy, doing paper cutting the webbing of your fingers and toes. It just, think about every movement is going to hurt after that. You're going to have to like tape everything closed. Like, this isn't like making me go, oh, it's just making me cringe. I'm like, oh, ow. Because I'll show people one day, but I used to do some Jackass style stuff with me and my friends. Those videos are on YouTube. You can still find them. And that wasn't that long ago. Might still do them at some point, who knows? But yeah, so when I see this stuff, that isn't that crazy to me. It's like terrible, but not too much to watch. Oh, I've seen this video. The dude doing the Russian roulette knife cup. This is a fake video. This isn't even real. I guess I can
one
play
of
this
the
one.
styrofoam cups. The remaining 3 spots are also covered up with styrofoam cups, and then I spin it fast enough that nobody can see where it goes. In a live performance, I might obstruct the view of the audience for just a bit, so that neither me nor the
Just this one
audience
specific
knows
video is
where
fake.
the knife.
It's this guy doing a like roulette of cups. I guess I could just show it. I can't show the gore part, but I guess I could show the beginning part. How can I restart it? Okay. You use like the 4 cups and then you spin it around. But yeah, what's the next one? The next one is 2 lesbians throwing up on each other. 2 Japanese lesbians throwing up on each other. It's like Japanese 2 girls 1 cup kind of. Pretty gross. Just a crazy video of a woman getting stabbed to death. That's pretty insane. Yeah, I know you love Pacific Rim. Yes, please take me away from this. What's going on right here? These are all really old. These are like almost all live leak videos too. Man. Really? Why are they bringing it back to theaters? Is there like a remaster or something coming out? Like a remake? Or are they just... I won't bring up what this one is because... Oh wait, is he alive? Holy shit, this dude's alive. He climbed out of a burning car. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't need to watch this anymore. We're gonna go back to the video I was watching. Just sitting here watching gore off to the side is a little much.
Had hosted an image with the file name hello.jpg.
Like, it's not even about me being like, oh, this isn't that bad. It's just really like, just saying it isn't good content, and it's not gonna make me a better person.
Showed adult film star Kirk Johnson bending over and spreading himself open for the camera. The image began spreading, no pun intended, around Usenet groups as early as 1997, and in 1999 the website was established. The site was taken down, sold, and relaunched several times throughout the 2000s. In 2017, it shifted into a cryptocurrency website, offering a currency called Goatsium, which is honestly cringier to me than the photo itself.
True, that makes sense. I mean, it's probably just trying to get people more involved in the ideas of it as more things are going to start coming out for the new stuff.
I also feel like I remember hearing something about Goatsy NFTs at one point, but I was unable to confirm that. Currently, the website seems to be down. Next, we have Neatspin.com.
They might have sold.
This website was launched in 2005 and featured a video of 2 people going at it, one of whom is helicoptering their dick, hence the name Meat Spin, while the song You Spin Me Round by Dead or Alive plays in the background. It was taken from an adult film called T.S. Bitches. I think most people assume the individuals in the video to both be men, but the one doing the helicoptering was actually a transgender woman named Christina Bianchini. I honestly don't find this one that shocking. I mean, obviously if you click on a link not expecting to see something not safe for work, you're gonna be a bit surprised, but I think most of the shock value here just came from the very homophobic online culture of the 2000s. What's more interesting to me is that this video inspired the Leak Spin viral video in 2006, in which the character Orihime from the anime Bleach spins a leak to the Finnish song Ilvan Polka. This in turn inspired the iconic Hatsune Miku version of the video, where she spins a leak and sings Ilvan Polka, leading to her association with leaks. Some crazy butterfly effect shit happening here. Probably the most notorious of these kinds of sites is
associated with leaks because of Meat Spin.
Two Girls, One Cup. I am not going to describe what happens in this video. If you don't already know by now, you're probably too young to be here. Please press the back button and go watch slime ASMR videos or something. This clip was from the trailer of a Brazilian adult film called Hungry Bitches, and was first posted online in 2007. There's been some debate over the years as to whether the video was real or not. The director apparently tried to argue in a Mexican court that the bodily fluids seen in the film were actually ice cream, but he was unsuccessful in convincing them, so make of that what you will. Either way, I hope those two girls were paid handsomely.
It's not uncommon in Brazil, actually.
By now you might be asking, why? Why do so many of these websites exist? Why are they so popular? Why do people enjoy watching this stuff? The average person has no desire to view such graphic content, and many think those who do must have something wrong with them. Yet each of the websites we've discussed have had dedicated fan bases. Well, when you look back on human history, you will actually see that people have been drawn to displays of violence for centuries. In fact, it used to be far more prevalent than it is now. Think of Roman gladiator competitions and public executions. I don't know why people think Monster Energy would kill a medieval child. That kid was watching people get drawn and quartered in the village square every Saturday. Our current taboos around discussing and witnessing death are a relatively recent thing, since advances in technology and medicine have allowed us to live longer, leading us to view death more as a problem to be solved than an inevitability. Despite this, I think most of us still have an innate curiosity to see things that are considered taboo. I certainly don't count myself above morbid curiosity. One of my earliest pastimes was looking at pictures of medical deformities in my dad's college biology textbook. And I turned out fine. In an article by Sue Tate, a lecturer at the University of Canterbury in New Zealand, she analyzes the various reasons people choose to use shock sites by examining the ogrish.com forums. Some do indeed watch gore videos purely for entertainment purposes. Looking at these kinds of videos and images gives them an adrenaline rush that some have likened to a high.
And those people are usually cowards. Anybody that's actually going there and being like, oh my god, watching this is making me so amped up. It's like, you're a person who's never gone for a run, who's never actually been in a fight, been in an adrenaline rushing like scenario. Because like adrenaline rushing is nice, but it ain't the best high. And sometimes like you feel like you're about to die, depending on how bad your heart is. But really, it's just like, those are the people that you have to be worried about. Those people that are like, I just do it because it's funny. Yeah, fuck these people. And those people are usually the people that are the most like hurting inside. They're the ones that are, you know, that old joke where it's like, you're only getting bullied because they're jealous of you, like your parents used to say. And it's like, no, some people are just assholes. But in reality, the people that do want like to do real harm and like think that people deserve to be harmed are the ones that are hurting the most. Like, I think that some people are just assholes, but when you're genuinely going like, yeah, I want to see this person get stabbed or something, like, you're on the next level of like, you have something wrong in your head where you think that people deserve what you have or something, you know? It's like one of those things.
Similar to the feeling obtained from watching horror movies, these adrenaline junkies become desensitized over time, causing them to seek out more and more extreme content in order to achieve that same feeling. It becomes almost like an addiction. However, there are others who...
The escalation of pornography. When you watch too much porn, you end up getting super depraved and start watching like more depraved porn.
claim to seek out this content for more ethical reasons. Some say it's important to bear witness to the realities of our world and see past the censorship of the mainstream media.
See, again, I think all of that is somewhat stupid because they're doing it. It's like it's all a guise. You're using it all as like a facade to be like, this is the real reason we watch it. When, yes, the ideas of it are because the world is really like this and we're bearing witness to the world, yes. But it's in reality because you're going, this shit is crazy. This is wild. And I don't think we should forget that it is just morbid curiosity at the end of the day.
Yeah. While others claim this content has helped them prepare for or deal with their own traumatic experiences. These latter reasons are certainly the justifications provided by sites like Rotten,
I don't know, though. A guy who got in a motorcycle accident probably shouldn't be watching a bunch of motorcycle crashes online.
LiveLeak, and Best Gore. I'm not sure I can fully get behind their reasoning, though. Most of the videos on these sites were presented without context, and viewers mostly just commented on the gore or, like, the video quality. Shockingly, they were not having nuanced and in-depth conversations on the nature of war and geopolitics. According to one Best Gore user interviewed by...
That's the kind of thing that... Again, I don't mean to be the edgelord, but if you go on them enough, people do. And what usually happens is it comes from somebody saying something racist or someone saying something even more crazy, and then other people coming to the defense being like, well, no, this is actually from this cartel because they're trying to get money back from this family, so this is actually the family member of this person or whatever, stuff like that.
GQ Australia, a lot of people talk about visiting Best Gore because it's reality, but I don't think it's reality. I'm not on guard all the time. We're seeing the worst of the world, but I don't think the world is so bad. And while these videos may have helped some people, they have harmed plenty of others. Many viewers reported on the Ogrish forums being upset, sickened, or disturbed by what they had seen, often unable to sleep due to being haunted by it. The woman in the GQ article said that she had started to limit the kinds of videos she watched because she didn't like that she'd become desensitized and didn't want to lose her humanity. And this...
See, and again, all of that stuff is just like you're depriving yourself of the reflection. You can think, okay, like... And it's okay to think even like, oh, I don't want to watch this person. Like I've said, I haven't watched anything like that in a long time. It has been like a minute since I've watched stuff like that. And like, but the idea of just going like, I don't know, just, it's all kind of, it's wishy-washy to me. It all seems like the justification or just means to an end.
This is not to mention the ethics of sharing a video in which someone dies horrifically to thousands or even millions of people online, captioning it with a funny title and using it for challenges and reaction videos. The victims in these videos are dehumanized and objectified, with no information given about who they were. In some cases, these videos are produced and uploaded by the person who killed them. But these were real people with families and friends who now have to live with the knowledge that footage of their loved ones' final agonizing moments is floating around out there on the web for anyone to see, being exploited for shock value and entertainment. So why are these websites allowed to exist? The owner of Best Gore was criminally charged, but authorities were unable to take down the website itself, and he continued to run it for years after his conviction. Well, I fear the creator of Rotten did sort of have a point when it came to internet censorship. Trying to censor online content can very quickly become a slippery slope. Let's look back at the Communications Decency Act of 1996. A law that spawned Rotten.com. It attempted to regulate both indecency and obscenity online. But who gets to decide what's indecent or obscene? These terms are dangerously nebulous. There are many lawmakers who consider sex education in schools, books about slavery, or the mere existence of gay and trans people to be indecent and obscene. So you can see how a law like this could very easily be abused. There's a reason why so many similar laws have attempted to be passed since the 90s, and most of them have been unsuccessful. Currently, the Canadian government is trying to pass Bill S-210, an act to restrict young persons' online access to sexually explicit material. That sounds all good and well in theory, but it would require internet users to provide personal information to their ISPs in order to verify their age, which creates significant privacy and security risks. Passing any sort of law that would regulate or ban shock sites would have far too much collateral damage for it to be worth it, in my opinion. However, we may be starting to see these shock sites phase out naturally anyway. The majority of the sites mentioned in this video closed within the last few years. The owners cited a variety of reasons for these closures, but ultimately I believe it's due to the changing landscape of the internet. Like I said in the profile customization video, the internet has become whitewashed, sanitized, advertiser and shareholder friendly. Not a very hospitable environment for websites showcasing death and depravity. What do you think about shock sites? Do you think
they could still get porn ads? You know, the hot locals in your area over like an ISIS beheading, I'm sure.
They should be allowed to exist or not? Were you traumatized by a friend forcing you to watch Two Girls, One Cup when all you wanted was to watch Sonic the Hedgehog AMVs? Let me know in the comments. And here's a video of my cat in case you need some mind bleach after all that. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, liking, subscribing...
You know what? It was a pretty good video. Why not? Man. Is this your most popular video? Man, it's only 4 weeks old. Pretty good stuff. Keep up the good work. Was I gonna watch this now? No. What I'm gonna talk about now, before I'm done, is a little joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? Oh, God. Fuck. Oh, God damn. Lord E.G.'s. Sorry, I had to check over here looking at, oh no. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I don't see many people talking about this. And the people that I do see talking about it want to go, oh, this isn't the truth. Oh, it's... Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. What does it mean? They're talking about death. Think about it. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. The riddle appeared in an 1847 edition of Knickerbocker, a New York City monthly magazine. There are quips and quillets which seem actual conundrums, but yet are none. Of such is this. Why does a chicken cross the street? Are you out of town? Don't you give it up? Well then, because it wants to get to the other side. According to music critic Gary Giddens in the Ken Burns documentary Jazz, the joke was spread through the United States by minstrel shows, beginning in the 1840s as one of the first national jokes. In the 1890s, a pun variant version appeared in the magazine Potter's American Monthly. Why should not a chicken cross the road? It would be a foul proceeding, which is a pretty decent turn on the joke. You might be thinking, this seems like a pretty clear form of anti-humor. Anti-humor wasn't established until... Come on. It wasn't established until later. I guess the Shaggy Dog is older. I've never heard of this. See, and you could say that it's a form of the Shaggy Dog story, but it's just too short. A Shaggy Dog story, I assume, is just to go like, here, they have it actually. A boy owned a dog who was commonly shaggy. Many people remarked upon its considerable shagginess. When the boy learned that there are contests for shaggy dogs, he enters his dog. Dog won first prize for shagginess in both the local and the regional competitions. The boy entered the dog oh my god. That's how I was just reading that. The boy entered the dog in ever larger contests. That's what it said. I don't know why I couldn't read that right. Until finally he entered in the World Championship for shaggy dogs. When the judges had inspected all of the competing dogs, they remarked about the dog, "He's not that shaggy." And the way you do this joke is like, you have to do it like Norm Macdonald telling a joke. There's this boy and he owned a dog, and the dog, it's a real shaggy dog, and he's going and taking it to all these competitions, and he finds the world competition of shaggy dogs. He's taking her there, and all the people, oh, this dog's so shaggy, it looks so shaggy. Oh, what a perfectly shaggy dog. And he takes it to the World Championship. He's there. And the judges are coming around, and they look at him and they go, "You know what? He's not that shaggy." The boy goes, "What? This dog is the most shaggy dog ever." You know what they say? Fine. We're going to give him second place. And the boy's like, "What? The shagginess of this dog. You can't make up anything like this. How shaggy this dog is." Can you believe that? It's a crime what they did. My voice is starting to be gone. Yeah, the joke has a bunch of variants, whatever. But then there's also articles. Shut up, why did the chicken cross the road isn't about the afterlife. But then also, why did the chicken cross the road joke is actually super dark. But let's see the history of why did the chicken cross the road. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side? It is one of the most tedious jokes in history, but it's also one of the oldest in continuous use. Now, just how old and where does it come from? Knickerbocker glory. And we see that. The earliest reference that has been found so far, full credit to an anonymous editor at Wikipedia here, dates to 1847 and the Knickerbocker, volume 29, page 283, a New York magazine. Conundrums we do not greatly affect, and must therefore be excused in the eyes of M. For declining his extensive batch, there are quips and quillets, which seem actual conundrums, but yet are none. Of such as this, why does the chicken cross the street? Because it wants to get to the other side. M has sent in a selection of conundrums, and the tired editor quotes one to show how bad they are. Lucky for us, it is ours. The chicken joke is caught in aspic. I don't know what that word is. Aspic in that moment. In the middle of the 19th century, note that at this date, there is none sense that it was commonly known, at least not to the Knickerbocker long-suffering joke editor. What a hellish job. I think here at the beginning we have the key to appreciating why did the chicken. It was launched onto the world as a conundrum or a riddle, but actually it is a joke. In other words, you don't get the expected pun so believed the 19th century English speaker and found in today's found today in Christmas crackers, you are made to realize that you are overcomplicating things. And they talk about the variants. Yeah, people talk about to get to the Shell station. See, here's my reasoning. So, Ring Around the Rosie didn't hit the British shores until 1880s. A song that's about the plague, about death. Wouldn't it be fitting for a joke about a chicken to also be about death? Just saying. It makes sense to me. Why did the chicken cross the road? That would be the matter of the chicken. Sinn Féin and the chicken are not part of the same organization, although we share some ideals in common. If there are presently any chickens in Sinn Féin, we are not aware of it. Orange Order. The chicken is entitled to walk on a piece of... What is the point of these? IRA? On behalf of the people of Ireland, we reserve the right to defend the roads of the island against the chickens. Huh? What the fuck is this thing talking about? I'm confused. Well, I learned nothing from this. All in a day's work. Let's see, what did medieval people think space was?
From the beginnings of civilization, humans have always looked up to the heavens in wonder. Sightings of stars and planets, comets and eclipses are awe-inspiring and help us to try and understand our place in the cosmos.
Me?
Technological advances made just over the last few decades with larger and more powerful equipment mean that we can now probe much deeper into the unknown universe of countless galaxies, planets and stars to understand its origin and growth. We know about pulsars, quasars, dark matter and black
Quasars? That's me!
holes that all exist together within the vast infinity of space. You can imagine the medievals looking up into space, and with little scientific understanding and no explanations, we can understand why one might attribute it to God. In today's episode,
you might assume that it makes sense why one might attribute it to a grand tapestry draped across the sky as a means to entertain the masses.
We're going to have a look at what medieval people thought about space. Welcome to Medieval Madness. The science of God. Faith and science were intertwined during the Middle Ages. Both the sciences and the humanities were studied in the universities. There were 7 liberal arts: grammar, rhetoric, music, geography, logic, arithmetic, and astronomy, which, being the study of the planets and other cosmological phenomena, was the basis for astrology. The latter tried to connect any celestial happenings with events and human concerns here on Earth. In the Middle Ages, almost everyone believed that what happened up in the stars affected their daily lives. Of course, for the medievals, the world and everything in the universe was created by God, and in that way miracles could and did happen. But people didn't just rely on miracles. Along with their prayers and visits to churches and cathedrals, they also put some faith in medicine and visited healers. It wasn't a one or the other type of thing. Science and God went together because God was responsible for everything in creation. Much of what motivated the medievals was the idea of becoming closer to God. Whether that was by reading the Holy Scriptures or by looking at nature and seeing this as evidence
I gotta
of
be
his
honest,
plan.
I don't think I have much to add to this video. This is more educational than I was hoping it would be. I was hoping there'd be a bit more conjecture and things that I could be like, what stupid people. But nah, this is just speaking facts. So I think I am going to call it today. So I've been 2.5 hours, a bit of a shorter stream today, but I will be back tomorrow to do some gaming. Might do a little bit of a reaction to start. That one goes out to Mecca if he sees this. But yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. So thank you for watching. This is Captain Quasar signing off.